Now, viewers, in a swift and decisive military action against terrorist infrastructures in Pakistan, the Indian Armed Forces executed Operation Sindoor, where 24 precision strikes on 9 different targets were carried out in a span of 25 minutes in the early hours of May 7th. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has said that India exercised its right to respond to an attack on its soil. Referring to the Pahalgam attack, remember, yesterday Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid a surprise visit to soldiers at the Adampur Air Force Station and drew India's Laxman Rekha against terrorism while reiterating the new normal in dealing with Pakistan in the backdrop of Operation Sindoor. We have seen the recent satellite images captured by Maxir Technologies revealed significant damage to multiple air bases in Pakistan. The images have shown damage to 4 Pak bases: Noor Khan Air Base, Pak Base Mushaf in Sargodha, Bolari Air Base and Pak Base in Shahbaz in Jakodabad. Meanwhile, CCTV footage of the live blast at the Dungus near Christ School, Poonch, has also emerged. I would like to take this conversation forward, and joining me live on the broadcast is a very special guest. Vice Admiral Shekhar Sinha, PVSM, AVSM, NM and PAR ADC, is a former 3-star Admiral of the Indian Navy. Appreciate you joining me live, Mr. Tripathi. Thank you very much for joining me live on the broadcast. Now, in your assessment, my first question is, what has India achieved strategically through the Operation Sindoor is the big question that looms large now.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
am I audible?
I think this question is for Vice Admiral.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Simran, for getting me on your program. It's a very important question, Simran. And in short, I will mention just 2-3 points. Number one, that so far, since the time 2014, prior to that, it was just an operation of any terrorist ingress or activity in India used to be responded with a diplomatic protest and maybe demarche to the Pakistan High Commissioner or the Charge Affairs and ask them to investigate as to who has done it, and we would also start investigating. So it was a very soft measure. But from 2014, we have seen under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi, it has become one-to-one. You send your terrorists once, and I will go and hit the camp from where they came. And therefore, you had this Operation Uri, you had Operation Balakot, where it was just one for one. From one terrorist camp, one group came and that terrorist camp was destroyed. And all of them were in Pak-occupied Kashmir, which is legally India's territory, in a manner that we said to Pakistan that it is my territory, let me sort out this terrorist. Secondly, so it became a strategy of punishment, that any terror attack will be met with a punishment to you at the time and place of our own choosing. Normally, the place would be the terrorist camp. But now we have come one forward. You saw that we initially hit all 9 terrorist camps. A lot of people have died, and answered these more and more names are coming out. But in reply, in fact, there was a statement from Government of India that we don't want to escalate. Your terrorists came to Pahalgam, so we have neutralized those stations from this where the Pahalgam terrorists came and where they were trained. But in return, the Pakistan army took on the role and they responded. Now this, Simran, means that Pakistan army is the terrorist organization, not Lashkar-e-Toiba, not the Hizbul Mujahideen and other people. They are only hired labor. The main terrorist group in Pakistan is Pakistan army and the ISI, and that is why they responded and they wanted to hit some of our military targets. And therefore, in response, India also responded in kind, and it hit only the military airfields. We have not hit any civil airfield. We have hit the air defense mechanism. So it is now not only strategy of punishment, but every terrorist attack in India will be treated as war, and we will respond accordingly at the place and time of our choosing. So now it is, and Prime Minister very clearly said in his talk that look, Now I will talk to Pakistan only on two issues. One is terrorism and second in POK.
Yes.
There is no third issue on which we will talk to each other. Simran.
Well, absolutely, Mr. Sinha, as this is the big message that the world has received. But how significantly is Prime Minister Narendra Modi's announcement when he says any terror attack on India will be considered as an act of war been taken? How significant is that in your opinion?
You're asking me, Simran?
Yes, Mr. Sinha.
It's very significant, Simran, because the world has been watching and nobody has been able to do a thing like this. In 9/11 case, Osama bin Laden was parked inside Pakistan next to a military establishment for 10 years. And they had to take help of a lot of Pakistani people to attack and or maybe take him out and kill him. But the point is, we have not taken help of anybody. Our systems are all ours, our air defense system. So we have given a very clear message to the whole world. You may not be able to do what we are doing. For us, it is everyday affair. We have had enough, and here is what we can do. So it's a demonstration of brute military power against a military which is actually running a cartel of these terrorist organizations. So it's a big, very big, militarily, in principle, and technically, it's a big message that India is what it is. And that demonstration was very clear. Simran.
Well, absolutely. That is how it has also been sent across the borders as well. But do you think that India is going to achieve its objective of deterrence by clarifying that Operation Sindoor is an ongoing mission?
Oh, very much. Very much. It is very much a deterrence. In fact, none of our troops have moved back. None of our ships and submarines have moved back. One big fault, and they will have it. And this is going to be the norm till such time Pakistan agrees that there will be no terror attack. And this is exactly what Prime Minister has said. I'll talk on only two things, either terrorism or POK. So there is no doubt in anybody's mind that what Prime Minister says has to be put into practice by the armed forces. And all our ministers are very much geared up. They will do the what is called the diplomatic move, talking mood, but the Prime Minister has given his very broad directive to do this. Nothing can be more deterring than this, Simran.
Sir, when India carried out the attacks at the Pak terror bases, we have seen military personnel at the funerals of the terrorists in Pakistan. But what is the big question here is that why do you think the world continues to turn a blind eye to Pakistan-backed terrorism?
Well, I think, Simran, that everybody has a stake in Pakistan. They all have their own interest. US has an interest because it does not want to see Russia again coming into Afghanistan and coming down and getting access to the warm water ports of the Arabian Sea. America also has a stake because it has given the F-16 aircraft with the commitment that you will use it against the terrorist act and not against India. But they have been using it left, right, and center against India. So obviously that looks like that America has more stake than what we can see, what meets the eye. It's quite possible that there's something deeper which we don't know. Number two, the second permanent member of the United Nations Security Council is China. Pakistan is not a country by itself. I call it Pakistan Autonomous Region of China. Nothing belongs to it, Simran. Economy is not its own. Military is not its own. Harbors are not of its own. The currency is not of its own. In many places, yuan is the currency being accepted in local markets, particularly in Balochistan. So I would say that China has much at stake, and I've already mentioned two nuclear powers of the world, two permanent members, and England, UK, they have a very dubious role. While they will do all the sweet talk and diplomacy, but you find that their actions are very much in favor of Pakistan. The BBC, it has not accepted so far. BBC is still calling out there will be some unknown people who have attacked Pahalgam.
They have called them gunmen. Yeah.
And only recently, only some time back, they have said yes, the terrorist attack. But they not tell you, they're not holding Pakistan responsible. And so many times they have had a terror attack. So this is the duplicacy that we are seeing, Simran.
Well, speaking of the duplicacy, while a very strong rebuttal and a response to this entire terrorist attack has been given, and the world is going to remember what India stood for. But when we speak about the military analyst observations, which have claimed that Operation Sindoor was a decisive victory in India's favor, how would you substantiate this claim, and what are your thoughts on this perspective?
Well, it's very straightforward. Our objective was not to demolish Pakistan. If that was the objective, that would also have been achieved. Require a little bit of more time. But that would have also caused a lot of damage on our side. So the objective was remove the terror camps and as many terrorists as possible. So that's all was our limited aim. So we should have finished after we hit those nine camps. But unfortunately, the response did not come from the terrorists. It came from the Pakistani military. And you saw that even one funeral where the known terrorists who have got the UN's name on top of their head, American sort of in their own hit list, they are openly attending funeral along with military personnel in uniform. So it only certifies, it only proves our belief that it is the Pakistan army, which is the actual terrorist organization, and the rest are all, they are all sort of, in Hindi, if I can say, bhade ka tattu, that's exactly what they are. So I am firmly of the belief that, the India has achieved this objective of killing the terrorists, removing the terror camps. And if you talk about the airfields, well, that was in response to Pakistan military's indulgence and their intention to hit all our airfields. I mean, 8-9 airfields were intended to be hit. Fortunately, our air defense systems engaged all of them, and some of them may have fallen close to it, but no damage. Why did Prime Minister go to Adampur this morning? Because they have been spreading rumors in their TV channels that Adampur has been destroyed and it is in bits and pieces. Prime Minister Modi stood on the center of the runway, and from there he made a speech to tell these fellows that, look, your army, your press is fooling you. This is exactly what they're living in, a fool's paradise. And sooner they realize it is better for Pakistani citizens.
While India's resolve at this point of time in reacting to the terrorist attack has been sharper than ever, while we understand that, and of course there is a message and a very big lesson for Pakistan to learn at this point of time, but while we should never underestimate the enemy, do you think Pakistan's military capabilities vis-a-vis India stand exposed now after Operation Sindoor?
Yes, I mean, certainly it has received they got a big jolt because they thought, that their air power, their air defense, etc. is absolutely invincible. Unfortunately for them, air defense systems of all these places, Lahore, Sargodha, Jacobabad and Noor Khan, every important military airfield air defense systems have been destroyed. And more than that, their Aka, China, who has given them all this, they are worried as to what will happen to them now. They're selling the systems left, right, and center, and they were about to say that, look, we have proved it. The false narrative which is going on by Pakistan, Simran, it is mainly to favor the Chinese systems, its sale, its business, and also to Americans. Because they would say F-16 went, F-16 did this, F-16 did that. So this is a much bigger game than what you and I can discuss here. It's the world politics, and it has just happened at the time when China and America are just about reach some trade agreement on the tariff war, and that might just bail out China a little bit. But the beating that it has taken, the systems which have failed, the whole world is watching. There are independent analysts, in Austria, in Australia. They have all been writing as to how this system of China has failed Pakistan. And Pakistanis had no way to find out that our attack was coming on these last three airports, in Noor Khan and Chakubabad and, Chaklala. They just didn't know because their air defense systems had been compromised, demolished completely. And that is how we have had 100% hit in all these places. And you've seen some photographs of those. Some big, crater has been created, at least in Noor Khan.
Yes, the
And,
satellite images.
Yeah, these images are there to, for other people to see, Simran.
Well, with that, the military capabilities, of course, stand exposed, and also it has the Operation Sindoor and its success has very well exposed the kind of intentions that China and the US would have with this war. But when we talk about, in fact, the aftermath, how do you think India needs to counter the new age war weapons such as drones, which can result in the shutting down of airspace and become a daily nuisance as well?
Well, I would say that we have come of age. Our drones have done their job marvelously. We sent absolutely one swarm, hundreds of drones at one time, and most of the drones were actually electronic warfare drones who actually pictured the airfields and the systems which are deployed and passed it immediately to the headquarters. And from there, all the missiles were accordingly sent and targeted. That is one. Second thing is drone. Yes, the drone warfare is a reality, and I think it is. We have to understand that these are the low intensity conflict, and this is the what is called the gray zone warfare, where you think that nobody has crossed the line of control and therefore it is no war, but we have taken it as a war. Any violation of our airspace is as good as declaring a war. So we have taken out those drones when it came from there, and some of the drones have been taken out from our own drones who could fire the missiles. So I think that we have to continue working. We have to continue developing our own technology and make it more modern. Also, Simran, we know most of the Pakistani weapon systems and ammunition are imported. Ours is almost all of it is Indian. It is manufactured here. We didn't have any shortage. Pakistan had a shortage, went crying to Turkey. They sent one aircraft load of components for their drones. It went crying to China, who sent the PL-15 missiles. But regrettably, our technology has been way ahead, and it has taken down all those things. So I think that this drone warfare will continue, and we will have to close down the airport in times of warfare. And hopefully, particularly in the border area, it's too close to the border. We don't want any civil population to suffer on our side. It is better to postpone your movement rather than getting hit in the air, because once the missile is fired, Simran, the missile doesn't know whose aircraft it is and where it is. It just finds a target and shoots it down. So we have prevented that by doing this act. What you mentioned, it is because we have prevented any civil aircraft being hit or any injury to any civilian population. In fact, we have not allowed that to happen even on the other side. Our guess is whosoever has died in the terrorist camps that we have attacked. We have not targeted any civilian installation at all. So I think ours is a very principled operation. This Operation Sindoor, very principled, and objectives are quite limited, and that is why it was achieved. Otherwise, we would have continued. Though, as a deterrence, as our now new strategy, the strategy of terrorism considered as war is a new one, and therefore here the preparedness at all times will be very high, because you don't know when will the Pakistan establishment wake up and start doing this act again. And they haven't learned in 75 years. And I'm sure that they will go down for a little while. But my guess is, after every conflict of this nature, there has been a change of guard in Pakistan. Whether the chief of army staff is going to change, or the Imran Khan is to come back, something will happen. We have to give them time, because they are still recovering from the shock. They just don't know what has hit them. And every country in the world, because of our scientific method by which we have used our satellites, the way we have used our communication network with the satellite, and how we have used it to carry out some live missile firing and protected our own airfields is for everybody to see. Many countries have not achieved this, Simran, what we have achieved in this 6-7 days.
Well,
Simran.
absolutely. In fact, thank you very much, sir, for being with us on the broadcast and taking out time to speak to us. Vice Admiral Shekhar Sinha, thank you very much for being with us on the broadcast, on this telecast. Now, the Border Security Force has said that the